fixing flat tires down to a science. You understand what I mean? Sticking the tube in the water. Right? Talk to me, brother. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, you know, critical thinking. And see, and we look at that now, and like kids, they not as, you know, they not as on hands like we were back in the day.
That's because nowadays you don't have to put the bikes together anymore. They can come assembled.
Yeah, everything's coming assembled.
In the store, they ask you like if you want it already assembled.
Right, right.
Back then, you just got the box with 1,000,000 pieces.
Right, and today I don't think they could work with that.
It's just like the thought process. Nowadays, you get a bike that's already put together. Now, when you were younger, you actually had to put this bike together.
You got to put it together.
That basically closes your mind into learning how to do something.
Yes, yes,
now
yes.
you're giving it something. So, okay, you take this, and this is what it is.
Right,
so now we have to run with this instead of teaching the child, this is how you put this together so you see the result as this.
Right, right. Critical thinking. I like that.
Absolutely.
So look, not to cut you off, Mr. Denise, but let's go to our first commercial break, and then we're going to come back and finish talking about critical thinking.
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org, because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council. Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org, because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Well, Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
Welcome everyone, BeExposedRadio.com, Just a Bit Outside radio show. I'm Mark, and a little bit different than every week. Keisha's not sitting in the seat. It's me tonight. We're supposed to have our ladies panel. Unfortunately, a couple of our guests couldn't make it. I'm waiting to be joined by the one that could. So I expect Tyra to be here shortly. So I'm looking forward to having her join us and, just get the women's view on stuff that's going on in sports right now. You know how we do every week, the opening segment, we go through the menu. Tonight, We're going to be hitting the WNBA All-Star game that happened this weekend. We're going to be hitting on what's going on in Major League Baseball. And actually, there was a championship football game in Baltimore this weekend. The Baltimore Brigade of the Arena Football League, they played against the Washington Valor. So both teams in the area, one up the road in D.C. and the other team here. I didn't get to make it down to Royal Farms Arena to check the game out, but the Arena Football League, they used to be pretty amazing. They had 19 teams at one point. Some of the teams left, some of them went defunct, and now what used to be almost like a feeder system to the NFL has become very just kind of a sad state of affairs. They actually had 2 leagues at one point too, the AFL2, and they've gone downhill so much that there's only 4 teams. And the Washington Valor beat the Brigade. That's not the bad thing, I guess. The bad thing is the Valor was the number 4 seed out of 4 teams. They went 2 for 10 on the season. They actually lost their first playoff game, but the way the AFL is set up is it's a home and home. So there's actually 2 first-round games. And they end up winning the second game against Albany, and then they go on to win the championship. So you have a team that's 2-10 that goes on to beat the hometown team. It makes me kind of happy I didn't go to the game. Team that's 2-10 that goes on. I just beat the hometown team. You think about championship football, and you don't think it makes me kind of 2-10 team go to the game. But yeah, so that happened in town this weekend. That goes on. We talk pop culture sometimes, and something that's very frowned upon amongst if you're not like a comic book nerd or anime cartoons, is Teen Titans Go. It's a kids show. They had a movie come out, and as you know, I have a 9-year-old son, and kind of right in his wheelhouse. A lot of people don't like the Teen Titans Go show, and I kind of wish Keisha was here to get her take, even if she's ever seen it. But there was a Teen Titans show prior to that was insanely popular, and they got 2 seasons out, and then they scrapped it and went to Teen Titans Go, which is far more kiddie, 2 short stories, very off-the-wall humor. But as my sons watched it, I watch it too, and it actually has a lot of pretty biting commentary. It's pretty cool. So I've come to enjoy the show, even though, like in the pop culture community, people frown on it because they were mad that it took away their other Teen Titans series. So I took my son to watch the movie, and I gotta say they kept that biting commentary throughout the hour and a half that the show was going, the movie. They commented on the state of comic book movies, which Keisha and I are huge fans. Definitely love the Marvel movies. They absolutely hit on those. There's a certain cameo that is in every single Marvel movies. He shows up in this, even though it's a DC. They reference Deadpool. They reference Guardians of the Galaxy. They just hit on everything. So if you want to check it out, I suggest it. The very last line of the movie is hilarious. My son and I had a great time. So I would highly suggest checking it out. Oops. So let's see, what else was going on this weekend? Actually, let's hit on the Hometown Hero. I found this one pretty interesting, and especially it's topical because of a little game going on this week. As you know, the Ravens start preseason this week. Hall of Fame game coming up on Thursday. Going to talk about that later. And the future of the Ravens. Lamar Jackson, who was drafted first-round quarterback, he was named the top ACC male athlete of the year for 2017. Why they announced it this week, I don't know. Or it was a couple weeks ago. Let's see here. He narrowly won the Anthony J. McKelvin Award over a field that included third-place finisher Bradley Chubb, this year's number 5 overall pick of the Denver Broncos. He won the 2016 Heisman Trophy winner at Louisville. Jackson was the first player in FBS history to pass for at least 3,500 yards and rush at least 1,500 yards, which he did in back-to-back seasons. We're all excited to see what he can do on the field. And so, shout outs to him for getting that ACC top male athlete of the year. It's going to be interesting what happens this weekend, or this Thursday actually, when the game comes up. They're taking on the Chicago Bears in the Hall of Fame game. And it's definitely going to be an emotional game for them. You have Ray Lewis going into the Hall of Fame. And obviously it's preseason. No one expects anything major preseason. You wonder how much time the starters are going to play. But I think everyone in Baltimore is going to be tuning in to check out Lamar Jackson, see how much playing time he gets. There's been talk of him and Flacco on the field at the same time, so obviously some wildcat plays. I'm looking forward to it, and I know everyone is. So we'll see just how the ACC top male athlete of the year will transition into the NFL and move on to his career. And he's hailed as the future of the Ravens. So I'm excited. And once Tyra gets in here, we'll talk about it a little bit more later. But again, shout out to Lamar Jackson, ACC Male Athlete of the Year. This weekend we had the WNBA All-Star Game. We're going to talk about it a little bit later, but it was an incredible game. And they kind of took the NBA format where two players head up teams. And from up the road, Deladonna, she was one of the captains, put together a great team. And who was it, Candace Parker? Yeah, Candace Parker led the other team. Great game. The girls just hit it out of the park. Maya Moore got the MVP and really just put a great show on. I think she was leading scorer of the game, at least for her team. I think someone else got 22 points, a little bit more than her. But again, once Tyra gets here, we're going to talk about it more. Some sad news to report in the world of wrestling. Something that just happened yesterday, and it's really strange. They say death comes in threes, and there's 3 wrestlers that passed away all yesterday, and actually one of them was local. There was Brickhouse Brown, who wasn't a huge name, had a couple big runs and matches in WWE, but or USWA, WCCW. He passed away, natural causes. Then there was especially in the late 90s, if you watch WWE, there was Grandmaster Sexay, Brian Christopher, actually the son of Jerry Lawler, and unfortunately he's had some legal recently, and he committed suicide. So again, Jerry Lawler for the passing of his son. And then there's locally, if you're a fan of the WWF in the 80s, there's Nikolai Volkov, who passed away at 76, I believe, this weekend. And maybe people here didn't know about it, but he lived locally. He lived in Glenarm. He, about 10 years ago or so, ran for local office. Unfortunately, he didn't win, but he was very active in the community, liked to do a lot of charity work. So for all the evil stuff he did as his character in the 80s, he was a pillar of the community, you could say. So Nikolai Volkov passed at 76. Condolences to his family. Me being the wrestling fan that I am, when I moved here, I didn't even realize that he was a local guy. He was born in Russia, came over and made his home here. And to know that's pretty interesting. So condolences to all those families of those that have lost someone. And it's just really weird that all three of them passed on the same day. Let's see, what else are we going to hit tonight? We got the Ravens preseason. What's that?
30 seconds.
Okay. We're going to hit the Major League. Oh, last week we talked about Manny Machado trade. Their big trade went down this week. But stay with us. I promise, we're going to get some people in here and get some banter going. It's gonna get real good. Just a Bit Outside radio show, BeExposedRadio.com.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. With millions of YouTube views, shares, Instagram likes, followers, and fans across the globe. But what do all these amazing pets have in common? Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a shelter or adoptable pets near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard? Well, that's entirely up to you. Visit theshelterpetproject.org and hear more about Hamilton the Pug, Toast, and Keyboard Cat's amazing adoption stories. Start a story, adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Your perfect pet is just a click away at theshelterpetproject.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Maddie's Fund.
You use Tearless baby shampoo because it's gentle on your baby's eyes. You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You always test the bath water to make sure it's not too hot. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You make sure she wears a helmet when she rides her bicycle. You put on his sunscreen, even when he's embarrassed his friends will see. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Is your child facing the right way in the car seat? Is the seat too big or too small? How do you know when it's time to move your child into the next type of seat? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/therightseat. That's safercar.gov/therightseat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Having trouble finding Connor's middle school? Would you like directions?
No, why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with him over homework.
Home, walk, restaurant. Need a review?
No, I need help. He's very smart, but his mind wanders. He's disorganized.
I think I understand.
Oh, good.
Finding best potatoes for French fries.
No!
Russet, fingerling, Yukon Gold.
Why don't you understand me?
Sorry, I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
For the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues, this is what life can feel like. Explore understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues, designed to help your child thrive in school and in life. Understood.org, because understanding is everything.
Brought to you by understood.org and the Ad Council.
My name is Ruth Rusi. I'm a retired teacher. I'm 91 years old, and this is how I live United. I say retired, but not really. Once a week, I read books to children as part of United Way's education program. Reading to a child creates links between language and literacy. It creates a bond between grown-up and child. And believe it or not, it prepares them for a better academic.
Only in the forest can you see this.
Listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back, Just a Bit Outside radio show on BeExposedRadio.com. You're listening to us on Facebook, on YouTube, TuneIn app, Radio Loyalty app. And as you can see, I've been joined in the studio. One of our frequent guests, frequent flyer miles.
Yes.
Tyra?
Yes.
How's it going?
It's going.
Staying dry?
No, always wet. It's the rain and other.
This
aspects.
week has been.
I like the rain.
I love the rain too.
I love the rain too.
But the torrential downpour last week, just driving on the freeway with those crazy I-95 drivers.
It's like washing away the sins of the city or something. I hope it works.
Maybe it'll wash away the rats out of Lexington Market.
They ain't going away.
Keisha and I on Facebook, like, we've been posting stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And then I think it's like Southwest Baltimore. There was another video that popped up of a rat inside a 7. No, well, there's that one.
That one too?
And then there's like a new one. It was inside of a 7-Eleven.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, and it was just like running on top of the drinks and stuff.
That's the thing. It's just they, especially Lexington Market and Northeast Market, they always have rats. It's just, I think the older they're getting and these new generation of rats are like bolder and they want to come out and they want their camera time too, because it's like they are not afraid to like come out while people are there or say hi or ask for a piece of your food. Like, they're really getting bold now.
I remember I moved here a little over 10 years ago, and like one day I was just walking down Howard Street, middle of daylight, and there's just a rat just, you know, prancing around. No worries about people walking around him. It's like,
It's like I don't know. As time goes on, they don't care if people are out. They just like, hey, we're sharing the city, sharing the streets, and I guess sharing the food down Lexington Market too.
I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy the food at Lexington Market.
I think everybody does.
I'll be wary of the fried chicken still, but
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe the dirt makes it taste so good. I'm not sure.
So what you been up to?
Work, always. Work. I don't know. Work and just other stuff.
Yeah.
Trying to maintain, stay under the radar. Oh, softball.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, me and Keisha play softball.
The weather held up yesterday, didn't it?
It did, but yeah, the fields were still like really funky and wet. Like
they didn't let you play, or
yeah, we got to play, but it was like I don't know. See, when I go to play softball, I don't really go to get dirty. So the fact I got mud on my cleats, I was not too happy about. But
it's a hazard of the game.
You rough it out, yeah.
How'd you guys do?
Honestly, I remember the first game. I think we lost by 1 point. By the second game, I started indulging in adult Slurpee things, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if the team won or lost. I had a good time though.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. I'm there for fun. Some of the girls get mad
when
they lose, but you know, nobody's getting a contract out here. The Yankees aren't signing you. So.
That's what Keisha always says. Like, you know, she just has a good time.
That's all I go for. Yeah. That's why I love her so much, because we just go to have fun. Everybody, you know, there's no scouts out there. You're not going to the
Yeah. I know there's been talk about like women's professional leagues and everything, but I don't think they're coming out to Baltimore just to scout the rec leagues, the adult leagues.
Not at all.
Second segment, usually we do the WTFs. And it's been really bad. Let's see here. So yesterday, two players in Major League Baseball had really bad tweets from when they were younger resurface and make them just look horrible.
Right.
And of course their teammates came around them and said that's not who they are nowadays. And it's not just sports that's hitting, like it's hitting entertainment. Like the director the director of Guardians of the Galaxy, James Gunn, he got fired from the third one because some tweets from like 12 years ago popped up that looked really bad. And he said it was all tongue-in-cheek, but they still let him go. So for Major League Baseball, there's Braves left-hander Sean Newcomb. It was all stuff that he had tweeted when he was a teenager. And then up the road in Washington Nationals shortstop Trey Turner had some tweets from when he was also 18 years old. Included gay slurs, anti-gay comments, and a joke with racist undertones. And you can only go so far to say, oh, they were just a kid. Because at 18, you should still know what's what.
Yeah, I feel two kind of ways about it, because at 18, you do know, but it's like you're 18. That is still really young and dumb. Like, it's still a chance to redeem yourself from a 18-year-old tweet versus the, what are they, 20, 30 now?
Around like 25, 26?
Yeah, I'm sure they have experienced more things in life and seen more things, and they're a lot more evolved from the 18-year-old them than they are now.
Yeah, and again,
some stuff is like, come on now, you can't come back from that. But
yeah, I know, like, I did stupid stuff at 18, but I can honestly say, like, I never did anything like that.
Right.
Like, there's got to be a line.
It has to be a line. And then that's like some of the racist stuff. It's like a lot of kids are raised and brought up on that, so they don't know. Like when I went to college, there were white kids that never were around black kids until they got to college, so it was like a whole new world for them. So they don't really quite understand certain things, and then, you know, but
you gotta hope with that exposure as they get around, you know.
And as you get older, you're exposed to a lot of things that you aren't at 18. So,
yeah.
But yeah, it has to be some kind of line. I think, depending on like the severity of it or how mean it actually was. And then the companies that are firing people and like television show companies that are firing, they gotta save face. So to them, it's like no matter when it was said, they don't want to lose viewers, they don't want to lose endorsements, they don't want to lose. So they have to like, we gotta nip this in the bud because we don't want to look some kind of way to the public. So in that aspect, yeah, they gotta save face.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Let's see what's going on. What else is going on? This week, a lot of NFL teams started training camp, and already there's been some big injuries. It's like, what kind of contact are you guys doing for training camp?
I think the Ravens, they did a military appreciation day one day this week.
Yeah.
4 days ago. I don't know. Maybe it's like the new guys trying to go too hard in practice to prove that they have a place on the team.
Maybe. Let's see.
Mine? Yeah. Okay.
For the Carolina Panthers, Ross Cockrell suffered a fractured left tibia and fibula. That's pretty much out for the season. He collided with former Raven Torrey Smith in the end zone and could be overheard screaming that his leg is broke. The Broncos actually had like 2 injuries on the same day. One of them was a concussion, which there's supposed to be safeguards built into the players' collective bargaining to not go so hard.
I mean, it's the Broncos. I don't think nobody cares.
Hey now.
I mean, I don't know. Not one of my favorite teams, so.
Well, thankfully the Ravens haven't seen those same injuries.
Right.
So, fingers crossed.
Hopefully, right, nobody gets arrested in true Baltimore.
I think that
with the Ravens.
I think the NFL has put the kibosh on. Well, no, there's always going to be some athletes in trouble, but
yes.
I haven't heard of anything major come up in a while.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, especially with the Ravens.
Yes, I was going to say, especially with the Ravens.
I know that they've brought Ray Rice to speak to the players, especially the rookies.
Of what not to do.
What not to do, yeah.
I guess.
I don't know. Like, I think he got a bad rap. I mean, the video is damning, and that's really what did him in. But they said he did everything possible to redeem himself. Of course, every player's gonna say, "Oh, that's not the real me."
Yeah, I do. And I too kind of feel like he got the short end of the stick for that because, again, two kind of ways. We don't know what happened before the video, and I don't know. I know a lot of dudes that absolutely would not take you spitting in their face. So
yeah,
she was wrong. And there are some people that say, "Oh, no matter what a woman does, he has no right to hit a woman," which is semi-true. But I don't know.
And they've both been doing some drinking.
And yes, and then it didn't look like this was anything new for them, for either one. She didn't look very surprised that he hit her, and he didn't look very surprised either. So I think they both are kind of.
Yeah.
But being the guy, he did the right thing by taking responsibility and trying to redeem himself, and
definitely
the whole forced marriage, so she can't testify.
Wow. I didn't get that impression.
I absolutely did.
Really? I mean, they're still married. It's been quite a while.
Yeah, because, I mean, he can't, like, you know, divorce her now. He look like a jerk.
Well, since we're talking Ravens, let's just jump right into it. Preseason game.
Yes.
This Thursday, Hall of Fame game against the Bears. What are you looking to see out of the Ravens for the first preseason game?
For them to knock it out the box, I guess, is, you know, as anybody would want to see them do really good. And I mean, again, it's the team they're playing. It's not, you know.
The Bears, yeah. I have a friend whose husband is a huge Bears fan. So I'm kind of looking forward. I'm kind of looking forward to them putting the Bears in their place.
Yes, pretty much.
But again, it's preseason. I hit on Lamar Jackson. He was named ACC Top Male Athlete of 2017. He was the Ravens' first round pick, and successor to Joe Flacco. Is there anything you want to see out of Lamar?
Just keep up what he's doing. It's Joe Flacco that I'm not.
Well, it's preseason, so I think Lamar is going to get the bulk of the snaps.
I hope so. I'm rooting for him because Joe is not on my favorite list.
I wish Keisha was here because I know she's not a big Flacco fan either. He's going into the season first time in a while without any injuries. And it's kind of a contract year. Well, not really. He still has a few years left, but they can get out of the contract after the season.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see how he approaches the season and if he can stay healthy. And I think a lot of people I forgot. Lurking in the background there is Robert Griffin III also, RG3.
Yeah, RG3. I saw pictures of him, the other day.
Who knows if who knows if he'll make the 52-man roster when they get to the regular season.
Yeah.
But he's lurking back there. He definitely wants to stay in the NFL.
Yeah, from the pictures and a couple of clips I saw, he seems to be looking pretty good. For now.
What from last year do you want to see the Ravens improve on and hope to see glimpses of in this preseason game?
I guess just wins. Just like, and it's not to say bad or like phony teams, but like the preseason, like the Bears, like come on, we're absolutely like, okay, this is in the bag. We got this. This is a win. So I don't want to see them give up any wins to a team that we might not see as big of a competition as some.
Do preseason wins matter to you as a fan?
No.
Because I know a lot of fans love to see the teams win, even though it's preseason. But the preseason, those 4 games are just like the coaches use it to evaluate their players.
Think just anybody that's really into football will love preseason, regular games, and you know, any kind of game. So
the main event, of course, for Hall of Fame week coming up, Ray Lewis getting enshrined in wow.
I mean, okay.
Not a Ray Lewis fan. Don't like the squirrel dance?
Love the dance. It's just his behaviors are just, I don't know, for some reason he comes off very OJ-esque to me, like.
Wow.
He is like what OJ was in OJ's heyday, and they both have their escapings of the law, so it's like, you know, he just comes off as a junior OJ Simpson to me.
I'd say in a Ravens fan that's rare, because a lot of Ravens fans take, you know, he went to court, he had his day in court, much like OJ, was found not guilty, but tend to believe that the facts that were presented were true, that he didn't do anything illegal, except for maybe helping out the people that actually did it by letting them get in his limo and kind of hiding them from the law. But you think he was more involved?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And I've seen instances where he's been in the club and like smacked holes of crab cakes. Like he just like, it was a whole thing up was it Corinthians or Windsor Inn that he got into it with some chick in there and crab cakes were flying, and then of course because of who he is, they kind of just brush stuff under the rug. I believe he may have paid it off, or I don't know, the incident kind of faded away.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, I mean, I applaud him for turning over his new leaves and being a Jesus jumper and everything now. So it's like, I guess, but it's just something about him, like I said, it's just, he gives me that OJ vibe. I'm glad he's getting the Hall of Fame thing. He, as a player, he was a very good player. I will give him that. He was an outstanding player, so.
Speaking of the Hall of Fame, one of the entrants that are being enshrined, Terrell Owens, never played for the Ravens, but and I think Keisha and I touched on it like a month or so ago when he announced it, but he is not going to be going to the ceremonies, so they're not going to be presenting his bust, and there's no speech going to be made in his honor. What's your take on just skipping out of the ceremony?
So
not a T.O. fan?
I mean, he's okay. It's not a big.
Do you think it's disrespectful?
Big to do about semi, yeah. But T.O.
Yeah, and it's kind of receivers aren't really seeing a big entries into the Hall of Fame. So for him being a receiver to make it, that's kind of a big deal, special. I personally, I think it's kind of disrespectful to not show up to. Thank you. Let's see here. Let's see if I can see who else is going in. So I know it's a pretty star-studded class. Are you going to be doing anything special for the Hall of Fame game? Checking it out? Going down to a bar?
I always find a good excuse to go indulge at a bar, so why not?
I can't find that info that I was looking for.
Oh,
what's your expectations for the Ravens then this season?
honestly, I don't have very many expectations. They say if you don't expect much, you can't be let down much. So.
So you expect to be let down if you had any expectations?
No,
do you think
not to be let down. That's just, I mean, if you set your bar so high, then you're let down, you're disappointed. So to avoid from being disappointed, I'll say I don't have many expectations for them.
For me, it's kind of difficult because there's so many new pieces. Everyone wants to see how Lamar Jackson does. He's going to get playoff or preseason time, but when the regular season comes, it's Joe Flacco's show, and we know that. There's a whole slew of new receivers, so we're going to see how Flacco does with them. And yeah, they have the training camp, the preseason to gel together, but in the regular season, it's anyone's game.
Right.
With the injuries, I hope that the Ravens can make it back to the playoffs. But last season they were 8-8. Do you see them doing better than that?
Yes, better or about the same. I think they'll go pretty far. I believe it.
Playoffs? All right. Well, they win the division. You got the Steelers that, as much as we hate them.
I know, right? I'm going to be hopeful and say yes.
Okay. Trying to find my lineup here. See what else I had. Are there any other teams you pay attention to than the Ravens?
Yeah. I love the Seahawks.
Okay.
Strictly because of their colors. Vikings too. I like that purple also.
Okay.
But, as much as you kind of not root for the Steelers, but I do keep an eye on them.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they're, our biggest competitors. So and it's like that rivalry has been forever. So you kind of check them out to see how they do.
As much as you hate to admit it, they are a good team.
Right.
They wouldn't have the 6 rings if they weren't.
That is true. Are you looking forward to any other teams?
See,
the Ravens.
As I said, I moved here 10 years ago, and we touched on the team earlier, and you're not a fan, but the team I followed before I became a Ravens fan, and I still follow them, Denver Broncos.
Okay.
Why don't you like the Broncos?
I'm not a fan of their uniform colors. Like I said, I'm very big on colors. I am a visual person, so it's just the ordinary red, white, and blue. So. Oh no, the Broncos. What are they?
Navy
brown?
blue, like a navy blue and orange.
Oh yeah, that's just like the Browns.
And in the 80s, they had like the bright orange.
Yeah.
And then they switched it up like around 95, 96.
Yeah, the Browns, bleh. Redskins, like. That maroon and yellow was just, was it supposed to be gold? But,
gold, yeah.
It looks yellow, so it's, I don't know, just a terrible match. Not a fan. Buccaneers. Not a fan of the uniforms either.
What about the Raiders? It's like a classic look.
Yes. Oh. Can't go wrong with black and white.
Black and silver, see?
Oh, yeah, silver. They have a little, I guess, white on the numbers are white or like something. They have a little white in there, but classic black, can't go wrong.
We're going to hit some Major League Orioles stuff going on, just a bit outside radio show.
Is it a bus? Oh, I was going to say, can you hear the numbers like on
It is with great pleasure that I welcome you to today's graduation ceremony. Students, when you hear the reason or reasons for your absences throughout the years, please exit the auditorium without your high school diploma. Once you've exited, remove your cap and gown and proceed into the unknown. Too tired. Family trip. Part-time job. Helping around the house. Sick day. Starting the holidays early. Just because.
Starting in the 6th grade, students who miss 18 days or more of school in a year for any reason will fall behind and risk not graduating high school. How many days of school has your child missed this year? Absences add up. Keep track at boostattendance.org today. Brought to you by the U.S. Army and the Ad Council.
Hey, there's my son. You've been in your room all morning.
Hey, Dad.
Matt, what's wrong with your voice?
There is nothing wrong with my voice.
Oh, well, it's just sort of.
I have been playing my video games and electronic games for so many hours.
Uh-huh. Well, it sounds like it might be time for you to take a break, or...
Hello, Dad.
Susan?
I have been watching TV and text messaging all morning. EA Electronics. EA.
Guys, I think it's about time to get in the car and take a little trip. Maybe see some trees, some green things.
What are the green things you speak of?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Get out to the forest and discover the wonders of nature with your family, just like Blue, Jewel, and the whole Rio flock.
Let the kids connect to their roots. It's gonna be so much fun. Yeah! Woo-hoo!
Let's rock this jungle.
Woo!
Fresh air.
What a glorious morning.
Clean water.
Woohoo! This is great.
And endless surprises.
Yo, this is untapped territory.
How amazing.
Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
So when you get to the corner of Smith and Orchard, you're going to want to take a left.
You are not going to.
Then what you're going to
believe
do is turn onto
Marcy
Marcy
and Brad
Avenue
just broke up,
and go past the first
apparently
3
she's
lights,
happy
and then
about
take
it.
the next left.
I don't really
Then drive
think
5
she's
more
happy,
blocks,
but
and you should be
who
there.
am I to judge, right?
Park on the
Anyway,
right.
That's
I'll
what
see
I
you
heard
later
last
tonight.
night.
It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat, and apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable, but how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back, Just a Bit Outside Radio Show, BeExposedRadio.com. Checking us out on YouTube, on Facebook. Share the link, share the love. Tell your friends, tell a stranger. We talked a little bit NFL preseason. We're going to switch it up now and go to Major League Baseball. And there's some interesting things going on in baseball. Trade deadline's tomorrow, so we'll see what goes on there. Of course, the Orioles last week traded just before our show last week, so we were able to talk about it. Traded Manny Machado away. How did you feel about that? No surprise.
I like him.
Oh yeah, I think everyone loves Manny.
Yeah.
Macho Manny.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get more into the trades a little bit later. Something that has been going on for a month or so. There's talk of Major League Baseball expanding teams. And it's actually surprising to me because not too long ago, well, like 10 years ago or so, they were talking about contracting teams, like lowering the number of teams that they have. So I guess baseball has rebounded so well that they're looking to expand to more teams, more markets. You mentioned the Seahawks earlier. Their quarterback, Russell Wilson, and his wife, Ciara, are looking to either lure or bring in expansion team to Portland, Oregon. It's an interesting prospect. Portland is a good sports city. They have the Trailblazers. Any thoughts? Any takes?
Yeah, I think that's a good look. I think
Yeah.
that should be interesting. Yeah.
Russell Wilson, he was actually a baseball player, and he was drafted in 2010, I think, to the Colorado Rockies. Played in their farm system a little bit, but then he went to football.
Okay.
And his rights as a baseball player is still being traded and used in MLB. In February, I read that his rights were traded to the Yankees. So maybe if he retires and decides to go play baseball, he might end up in the pinstripes.
Be a bad look. I would watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love
the Yankees.
Oh, that's right. But I find it interesting that someone who's known for baseball, and then his wife, obviously, who's huge in the music industry, looking to become owners in baseball.
Yes, I feel like a lot of baseball and entertainers, as far as music, they're trying to get into a lot of things other than music and other than sports, just in case. I guess to have a plan B, and that's not always a bad idea to have a plan B.
Yeah, the ownership group that they're part of that would own this team includes the founder of Nike, who's also based out of Oregon. One of the things that I really thought was interesting, Russell Wilson said that not as many African Americans are playing baseball as there used to be, that's one thing that he really wants to focus on and bring back.
Yeah, it seemed like they only, unfortunately, get their shine in football and basketball. So to see them doing other things is like awesome sauce. I feel bad. I don't remember the hockey player's name, but he was one of the first African American.
Yeah, we talked about him too.
Did you? Yeah, I remember reading that, and I thought that was cool because I actually thought, like, I could not even name 2 hockey teams if I had to, and so it's like, I don't know, I guess we're not as exposed to all sports like we should be.
Yeah. Ciara was also quoted saying that she's excited to be an owner, kind of to bring women into the fold, something that's male dominated.
Right. And she is a beautiful woman, a beautiful black woman, but she also is not one of the spring chickens, so to say, in the music industry. So they're like always going to be newer, younger girls coming into the industry. So she probably feel like she need to find something else to get into besides, twerk videos and stuff.
I think it's pretty cool too, just because it shows that they're business minded.
Yeah, growth, definitely.
A lot of sports stars in particular, but some entertainment, like they leave all the financial decisions usually smartly to financial managers and agents, but sometimes they get ruined because of that. So for them to take charge of their finances and these decisions to go into Major League Baseball as possible team owners, it's pretty cool.
Yes, and baseball is a true moneymaker, so I don't think it was a bad decision at all. Good decision.
Definitely. Let's see here. I mentioned the Manny trade, so let's just go to the other trades. Manny got 5 prospects. There's
for his one. Right?
For his one, yeah. Prospects, so they're all minor league. Last week, speaking of your Yankees, Orioles trade Zach Britton. Their closer, phenomenal player. He was an all-star, 2015, I think, 2014. Trade him to the Yankees and get 3 pitching prospects. As a Yankees fan, what's your take? Are you excited?
Yes, always excited to see how things are going to play out. So, yeah.
Any, how do you think he bolsters their roster? Like, I mean, he's a great closer. They had some injuries. Will it help them get over the Red Sox?
I'm going to say yes. Why not? Take a stab in the dark. Yes.
I think it's important for them to try to, because they are 2 of the best teams in baseball currently, best records. It's important for them to clinch the division, Because if they're forced into a wild card game, which is a one-game playoff, I mean, one game and you could be out of it.
Yep.
And anything can happen in one game. When there's a series, you can always plan and, you know, we're going to do this in the next game, game 3, game 4. So I think Britton definitely gives them...
Yeah, and he's going to show why he was a good trade. So.
Good pickup.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you think it helps the Orioles?
It doesn't.
Oh.
I don't know.
Because they're minor leaguers or what?
They just, they start off so good, and then it's like...
Well, this year they didn't.
And it's like one of the most heated topics at work, because you have half Oriole fans and half non-Oriole fans, so it's like every second they like, check out those Orioles. Or when they're doing good, they're like, yeah, they're doing good for now. And it's like, as much as you want to prove them wrong, a lot of times they are proved right. The Orioles do very well at the beginning and just a downhill battle.
Dan Duquette, he's admitted they're in a rebuild. So considering all these guys are prospects, not all of them are going to pan out and go to the major league. But basically in those 2 trades, they got 8 guys.
Right.
3 years from now, do you see them...
Like, yeah, like something good has to come out of that. Yeah.
Contending for playoffs again, or...
I don't know. I'm gonna keep it positive. Sure, why not? That's a, you know, maybe new faces, new track record, maybe.
I seem to remember you being an AJ fan.
Yes.
Mr. Jones. And there's actually been talk of...
I was going to say, I hope he isn't leaving.
There's been talk of other teams being interested.
I'm sure they are.
We're down to the wire. Tomorrow's the deadline. How hurt would you be if Adam Jones goes?
Totally. I might turn in my Orioles shirt.
Ooh. He's been quoted as saying, like, he's looked at players in the past that for other teams have been traded for their last couple months of their contracts and then go back to their old team.
Yeah.
And he's made comments that he would do the same. So if he's a rental for another team and then ends up coming back, you good with that, or?
No.
No.
I wouldn't be too happy about that.
I mean, it's not his choice.
That's true.
To be traded.
That's true.
And I think his contract, because he's a veteran, he can have some say into where he goes.
Probably not very much.
This year and the next couple years, if he stays with the Orioles, not too much of a chance of getting a championship. But if he goes to another team for 3 months
to get his championship, right? It's like, I mean, yeah, you can't blame the guy, but I would like to see him stay.
Be one of those rare players that spends their entire career with one team. That'd be special.
Yeah, he's special.
We love you, Jonesy. Any players you don't want to see the Orioles trade other than Adam Jones?
Nope.
Crush Davis, whose contract no other team will pick up.
Right. That's nobody really stands out to my right now. Just was worried about Adam, and I was kind of heard about Manny, so.
But it was unavoidable. Like, if they were contending for a playoff spot, it wouldn't have happened.
Yeah. It's like the same with Kevin Durant when he like, oh, he gonna yeah, like, I mean, you put a lot of heart and soul into your game to always turn up with not winning the championship or getting your ring, or when then you see you have a chance to get that, I would absolutely jump on it. So not mad at that.
I'll switch gears.
Okay.
You mentioned Kevin Durant.
Love him too.
Awesome player.
Nappy head and all. I love him.
It's been a while since I've seen you, so what's your take on the LeBron to Lakers?
I am actually, I don't think that was a bad move.
No?
His personality seemed like it is a good match for the Lakers. Like, he's a star player, so and they already have a lot of teams. People feel like, you know, he keeps switching teams and where's his loyalty? But I mean, you gotta do what feels good for you. So I actually think the Lakers is a good move for LeBron. That's to me a good match for him, for his ego. It's a good.
They've already surrounded him with some other talented players. Keisha and I have discussed it, but do you think it puts? I mean, the Lakers have sucked the last few seasons. Do you see it as putting them in contending for the championship?
Yes, definitely.
Even though the West is stacked with teams.
Absolutely.
You got the Thunder, you got the Rockets, you have obviously Golden State.
Right.
All teams that are in the thick of it every year.
Yeah.
San Antonio, you can't, discount them. Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, and then again, with the names and the colors, Spurs is like, they were pretty surprising though. They played surprisingly well. I just think when I think of Spurs, that doesn't I don't know. What is a Spur? This doesn't seem real. I don't know. I didn't think they would do as good as they did this season, but
What's a spur? It's that thing that goes on the Cowboys' boot that jams into the horse.
Spur, you don't hear I don't know.
It triggers that horse into action. See?
No, not really a go get 'em type of name. Like when the team changed their name, it was the Charlotte Hornets, and I think now they're the Pelicans. Who this?
New Orleans, yeah.
Who wants to be a Pelican? I thought that was really gross. And then I don't know.
And then the expansion team in Charlotte, that was the Bobcats, they took the old Hornets name back.
Right.
So now they're the Hornets again.
Yeah, that's a hornet sounds a lot more terrifying than a pelican. so I don't know.
You've been on the beach and seen the pelicans go around, right? That's pretty terrifying.
But when it comes to a sport team, it's you don't want to be a pelican.
But the Lakers, that's not a...
But they have such a reputation. They have such a large fan base, so they're good.
And the purple and gold.
Yep, that purple. Yeah.
Who do you like in the NBA?
And I have favorite players now. I don't have a favorite team anymore because I was a Celtics fan, but once everybody went everywhere, and it was kind of I thought, because most of the players went to Brooklyn, so I thought that was going to be my team, but I didn't get the same oomph. But Kevin Durant, definitely. I have always loved Steph because he's always proven to be good. I don't watch a lot of college basketball, but I did watch him in college. I still love Vince, even though he is getting old. He, to me, is still the slam dunk king.
Yeah.
I love him. LeBron's okay. I miss old basketball, when the Bulls had Pippen and Rodman and Michael Jordan. The Bulls were my favorite then. It was such a good thing to watch. It was so amusing. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, a lot of people on LeBron. He's okay. I mean, he's good. He's just not one of my favorites. Kevin is at the top of my list.
I'm glad you mentioned the Bulls and everything.
Kyrie Irving, I cannot forget about him. I absolutely love him. If I ever have a son, I want to name him Kyrie.
I'm glad you mentioned the 90s basketball because I'm on some Facebook groups, and obviously LeBron has his diehard fans.
Yeah.
And then there's the haters.
Yes.
Keisha and I are both avowed haters, which sucks because he's on the Lakers. Those are our teams. But it shows the generational divide. The people that, in their 20s or so now, that's what they've been watching is LeBron.
And the teeny boppers too, they feel like LeBron is the best player, the GOAT. King James, but it's y'all guys didn't get to witness MJ at his best, and Larry Bird and Isaiah Thomas and like
Magic Johnson.
Yeah, Shaquille O'Neal. You know, even though like that's the thing. Teeny Boppers now, they know Shaquille O'Neal from car insurance commercials. They don't know him to be a phenomenal player. So
what's that ointment that he does the commercial for too?
Yeah. What is it? Whatever the insurance is.
Yeah.
And then he did a car commercial. That small car, his big self was in that small car. Then he's like doing Gold Bond, like
Gold Bond. That's right.
The icy hot patches or whatever, some type of patch. So I was like, he's a commercial guy to kids now.
Oh yeah, and I think he does the TNT pregame stuff, like with Charles Barkley and stuff. Yeah. Those Gold Bond commercials, like there's like if you go on YouTube and look up the memes of it, like there's some jacked up stuff people have done to those videos.
I can imagine. He's an easy target though.
Which he's like what, 7'6"? Like you don't think someone like that. Well, I don't think he's literally that tall, but he's tall.
Yes,
he's huge.
Well, I'm not even 5'2", so that is very tall to me.
Shaq. I lived in LA for a while, so I always heard some stories about him. Some of them flattering, some of them not. Some like I was not the biggest Shaq fan coming up. I'll admit to like having bought his first music album.
Oh Lord.
Shaq Diesel. That's what it was.
Yeah. I was okay with Shaq until he started trying to act.
Oh, come on.
Oh, those movies were terrible. What genie is gonna be that big? And then wasn't it another one like he was like not like the Terminator, but kinda or like something.
There was Steel, which was the superhero book comic.
Yeah, was he supposed to be like a cop, RoboCop, or like I don't know, but
well,
he's a terrible actor.
Steel was well, kind of like the Black Superman, but also like kind of Iron Man because like he built his own armor.
Right.
And he was created when Superman died in the comics. And Shaq was a huge Superman fan. Got the Superman tat. And he wanted to bring that character to the screen.
Yes, just shows that when you have money, you're able to do anything. He would have not been my first pick for that role, but whatever.
I think he was in that Uncle Drew movie that bombed.
I did not get to see that yet.
I haven't seen it. I don't think a lot of people did.
Yeah, I was about to say, I haven't heard very much about it, so.
Yeah, I was actually surprised. Like, I went online to look at the cast, and there's like a lot of current NBA guys and stuff.
Is that in the movie? Yeah.
And retired guys, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Athletes don't always translate to good actors, so.
Maybe they should get soccer players because those guys know how to act. Well, actually, LeBron. Well, I was going to say he flops on the court all the time. We know that. He's a good actor, but...
His Sprite commercials seem to be a little dry sometimes.
Did you ever see that movie, Trainwrecked, I think, with Amy Schumer? He was in that. And I was actually surprised. He was a good actor in that.
I don't remember him.
But he played himself.
I remember the movie, so...
He played himself, so...
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I do. And she was like a reporter or something, or...
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it.
And she was dating the doctor that was treating him. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then there's a new movie, like a kid's movie, animated, Littlefoot. He did a voice acting in that.
Okay,
it's not out yet.
Yeah, it wasn't on my radar.
I didn't even know about it until I saw the trailer for it this weekend. I was like, oh, okay, LeBron.
Why not? He's hot right now, so. Like I said, they always try to branch into other things. You kind of have to nowadays, though, if you want to stay relevant and stay...
Like him, hate him.
Yeah.
It's just smart on his part.
Yeah.
Because his playing days are numbered.
Yeah.
And he can do commentary if he wants, or in studio stuff, or he can do this acting.
Yeah.
He's known as a philanthropist, and he's got to do stuff to keep that going.
Yeah, I think he should, stick with that. He's pretty good with that. Like you said, he did okay in Trainwreck because he was playing himself.
Yeah.
So that's pretty easy to do, right? To play yourself in a movie, so you don't have to really remember no lines. You can kind of ad-lib it.
You mentioned Vince Carter a little bit ago, and I wanted to look him up because I swore I read that he signed with a new team, but it hasn't been updated yet.
Yeah, I was about. Yeah, I think I recently saw his name in something too, but I didn't read the whole story on it. I love the Raptors, Vince Carter.
Yeah.
That was my favorite Vince Carter.
I want to say it's Miami Heat that was looking at him, but I can't find any information on it right now.
I guess it wouldn't be a bad look either. I don't like somebody like him. Like I said, I'm a fan of him. So, regardless of any team except the Pelicans, would be a good look. I would be anxious to watch.
Let me see here. There's nothing. Who's your favorite all-time NBA player?
Michael Jordan.
MJ? I think that's just, and going back to that conversation about like the younger generation, they can watch them on YouTube all they want.
And Space Jam. Right. So, yeah.
There was talk about them remaking that with LeBron.
I think it would be good for the new generation. Why not?
But again, like I said, they can watch Michael Jordan on YouTube and everything all they want. But to see him play live in those games, it was just amazing.
Yeah.
And
that gum.
If you ever got the tongue out.
Yep, tongue out.
If you watched him live, like there's no way you could ever say anyone else was better.
Yep.
Wow, that's better.
Oh, I was going to say, I thought maybe something went out, but yeah, it sounds a lot better. I don't think another player would have been a good role for Space Jam 2 anybody but LeBron. That's definitely a LeBron thing. He is one of the greatest of right now.
Would you rather see a remake, a reboot, or like a sequel
as
kind
the
of
coach, or somebody? But no, LeBron James would definitely be a good fit for Space Jam 2.
Yeah. Let me see. I don't want to get into this conversation yet.
Okay.
That was loud.
Well, I guess you agree with the LeBron thing for Space Jam or any other thing. How did you think he did?
I don't think Space Jam should be remade.
Okay. Leave it good.
Yeah, like if they want to do another vehicle similar, that's cool. But I don't know. I think he'd be good in it.
Mm-hmm.
I like I said, Trainwreck. I thought he was very good, but again, he was playing himself. In
right.
Space Jam 2, whatever they want to call it,
Mm-hmm.
he'd be playing himself again. So I guess it's not too much of a stretch.
Right.
And as much as I love Space Jam, though, Michael Jordan was a little bit wooden in that movie. Not the best actor.
Right. So I guess when you're a phenomenal player, you can't do all things great.
Okay, we're talking movies. What's your favorite sports movie?
Okay, it is again. That's hard because my generation loves loving basketball. It's probably one of their favorites. And
actually, hold that thought. Let's think about it. Just a Bit Outside Radio Show. We'll be right back, and we're going to talk some sports movies, because why not?
Business owners, need more customers? Offer fantasy sports contests and generate more sales. Restaurants, bars, hotels, auto dealerships, real estate offices. Whatever your business, fantasy sports contests can help you increase your sales and bring you more loyal customers. Visit Fanify.com or call 888-55-SPORT. Our software lets you customize contests fast and easy for your brand. That's right. Visit Fanify.com or call 888-55-SPORT. That's 888-55-SPORT. Or visit Fanify.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back, Just a Bit Outside Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com. You're listening to us on Facebook, on YouTube, TuneIn, Radio Loyalty. Share the link, share the love, tell your friends, tell your family, tell a stranger. There used to be a commercial that they said all kinds of funny, tell us something, and I can't remember what it is right now. I was going to try to say it. So when we went to break, I just brought it up. Sports movies.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite sports movie?
I was just saying, I guess Just Right is considered a sports movie with Queen Latifah and Common. He was a basketball player and he got hurt. He was seeing her cousin at first and then wound up getting her. I thought that was pretty good, I guess, as far as sports movies go.
Do you remember Rudy?
Yeah.
A lot of people put that at the top of their list. It's Notre Dame player based on a true story.
Mm-hmm.
God, I wish Keisha was
Sandra Bullock, and she was I think she kind of adopted that guy, and he was from here,
that
was a true story, right?
Yeah. He played for the Ravens for a few years. Now he's with Michael Orr.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of that movie for the life of me right now.
Neither, but that was good.
That was a good movie. My favorite movie, I don't know if you've seen it, Blue Chips.
No.
Is in the 90s. Nick Nolte was the coach of a college basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a clean program, and there's always these friends of the program looking in the background, and that's kind of like college basketball in general. And he knows he's losing these recruits to other programs that are basically paying their players. So he doesn't want any part of it, but then he says, do what you got to do.
Right.
And it's just a crazy ride to see him. He doesn't really turn bad or anything. He's just doing what he needs to do to get his program back to national prominence. One guy, his dad's a farmer. He grew up on the farm, so they give his family a new combine for the farm.
Mm-hmm.
Another guy, they buy his mom a house, and there's a bag full of $100,000 cash. And there's stories about this happening for real.
For real, yeah.
So this is based in reality. And there's this reporter, played by the guy that did Al Bundy on Married with Children,
Mm-hmm.
who's convinced the program's been dirty for a long time and keeps on calling him out on it. And you watch Nick Nolte's character struggle with this, and it's an amazingly acted movie. It's very quotable. Shaquille O'Neal was in that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll check it out when I get a
Blue Chips.
Blue Chips.
Absolutely. That bar none, that's one of my favorite movies.
Is Longest Yard, would that be considered a sports movie when they were locked up in jail?
Absolutely.
And, I love
Adam
that.
Sandler.
Adam Sandler, yes.
And which is actually a remake.
Nelly, and that was I thought they were very.
There's like 3 wrestlers in that too. Kevin Nash, Steve Austin,
Steve
Bill
Austin
Goldberg.
is the guy I was thinking about. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they all played prison guards.
Yes.
Like they're just badasses. And that was a remake of a 70s movie, The Longest Yard, with Burt Reynolds in that Adam Sandler role.
About in the 70s.
Yeah, like just crazy. And I think Burt Reynolds is actually in the Adam Sandler version.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like a nod to his movie.
Right. Yeah, I thought that was good. Waterboy. No.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, there's like the serious movies like Blue Chips or Rudy, and then there's like The Waterboy. You can do it. Like,
right.
People still say that.
Classic quotes out of there, yeah.
There's the girl in that. I know the actress is Fruka Salt.
I have no idea what her name is.
Like kind of gothy looking girl.
Yes, I was going to say like dark eyes and
yeah. Like that was a hilarious movie.
Yes.
I gotta watch it again.
Yeah. I love that movie.
What's that one? There's like a movie from the 70s that Brian's Song. Have you seen that?
Never even heard of it.
I've heard of it. I haven't watched it. But like everyone that watches it admits to just bawling and crying.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to put that on the watch list.
Okay.
Brian's Song.
Yeah, if it was in the 70s. Then.
Hey, Star Wars is from the 70s.
I don't watch that either.
What?
I do not. I'm sorry. I remember seeing Spaceballs.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, it was funny.
I'm just trying to think of other sports movies that are just. Oh man. We mentioned Sandra Bullock, and I think she had another sports movie. Was that her? Where she was like front office worker and stuff. Actually, Moneyball with Brad Pitt. Have you ever seen that?
Oh no! I'm thinking of what's the other one when they show me the money. That was something else.
Oh, Jerry Maguire.
Okay, yeah.
I guess you could consider that a sports movie.
Yeah, it's about sports agents. And,
yeah.
Any Given Sunday.
Oh God, yes.
Any Given Sunday was good.
That movie. A lot of like NFL players at the time when it came out, because it came out like '97, I want to say.
Okay.
Like there's people in the industry that said like absolutely stuff was taken from real life stories and just thrown in that movie.
Mm-hmm. And you know, right? Jamie Foxx and LL Cool J got the beefing on set.
Really?
About yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
I did not. Yeah. So. I thought that's probably what made the scenes really good in there, because they probably like really were like trying to tackle each other extra hard and play extra hard. So I thought that was good.
I remember there was a scene with a doctor that basically just did anything to get the player back on the field, didn't really take care of the guys.
That happens all the time.
And someone like on a radio interview or something like that was saying like that like he witnessed that exactly as it happened in real life.
Yeah.
Which I guess shows that the NFL's gone a long way, because now they do have like concussion protocols and everything.
Yes, and speaking of concussion, that wasn't that the name of the Will Smith movie?
Oh.
He was supposed to be like a doctor or a sports guy. He was saying how the concussions were really messing up these players.
I forget the name of that.
I thought it was Concussion. It wasn't called Concussion?
I don't think it was called Concussion. CTE! But I know what movie you're talking about, and that...
I did not watch it, all of it. I attempted to watch it. Will Smith's African accent absolutely discouraged me from watching the rest of the movie.
Really?
I couldn't take it anymore.
That is based on a real guy, like the doctor, like that's his real name and everything. And I think he's the one that came out with a lot of concussion, basically calling out the NFL. And there's been a lot of work to discredit this doctor.
I was trying to look at Will Smith movies to see if they had it up here, because that's gonna bother me all day that I couldn't remember the name of that movie.
Oh wait, it was called Concussion.
Okay.
Dr. Bennett Amalou. But yeah, like the NFL basically tried to smear the guy.
Yeah.
Say he didn't know what he's talking about. Say his research was flawed.
Right.
And it's interesting that they would go through those efforts instead of protecting their players for the longest time, because finally they are, even with the stuff that they have in place, the concussion protocols, a lot of people say it's still not enough.
Yeah, football is a hard sport. It's hard on your body, so I do feel like the NFL was gonna they want doctors to just tape them up and get them back out there to make their money. They not really probably always have the best interest in mind for those guys. They just want to get them back out there, get them on the field. When doctors aren't saying things that you necessarily want to hear, or things that are popular and stuff like that, they seem to discredit them. A lot of stuff like what's going on with that Dr. Sebi with his cancer and treatments and all of that, and it kind of discredited him because he was not exactly, saying things that they wanted to hear. So,
as maybe callous as it is to say it, these teams do look at these players as investments.
Money makers, yeah.
And they absolutely want to get their money's worth, their money back on the investment. Players will tell stories too, before the protocols, they just go over, one of the concussion symptoms is nausea and stuff. They just vomit, get it out, and get back on the field.
Yep.
And that's just scary.
Yeah. It's like a lot of them, I feel like too, they go ahead and go through with it because they feel like they're disposable, and they don't want their team to get rid of them because they have an injury that's probably not, they definitely feel that rush to get back out there and play. They're probably scared if I take too much time on this injury, they're gonna drop me, or they're gonna replace me, or and they don't want that. I recently, I didn't know that 35 was considered old for a football player.
Oh, yeah.
I thought 35 is now, because they were saying oh yeah, Ray Lewis he's still playing all of this time and he's old, and I'm thinking that guy ain't that old, and they no, for football he's old. He was kind of a ancient dinosaur in football. Nobody really plays that long and that old, and I'm wow, who knew? But I guess when you think about all the stuff that they have to endure as far as physical, it's a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a lot.
Which we talked about Ray Rice earlier. He was 30 when everything happened.
Right.
And they were saying he was coming to the end of a normal running back.
On his last leg anyway, and I'm
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm gonna switch things up a little bit. This past weekend was the WNBA All-Star Game. They follow the NBA's format where they have two team captains, Candace Parker and Elena Della Dova, captain the teams, or Della Don. She's out of Washington. Team Parker won 119 to 112. Maya Moore won the MVP. Did you catch any of the game? No?
I'm sorry to say that I do not actually follow WNBA stuff. I don't really watch women's sports.
But you play it?
Yes. I play it for something fun to do. It's just as far as watching to be entertained, I don't really watch too many women's sports. I have a couple players that I, like Sky Skylar. I think it's a Diggins. What was her last name? Something like that.
Dickens?
Diggins? I don't know. Well, I know her first name is Skylar. She's beautiful. I watch her. She's a good player. Brittany Griner. I have always been a fan of her. Always. Even from college. I've always watched her.
She's with the Phoenix Mercury.
Yes.
And they started off the season strong. They were leading the Western Conference. Now they're like third. So I hope that they can find the magic again and get back.
I guess I find her social life more entertaining than her basketball life.
Sometimes it's a train wreck.
I follow everything that she's on, Snap, Instagram, all of that. So
Really?
Yeah.
You think of the NBA All-Star game, All-Star break, and there's like the three-point competition, slam dunk competition, the features game, which is like the younger players. The WNBA doesn't have any of that. And I mean, maybe it goes to show, like you just admitted, you don't watch it. Do you think the WNBA should have those events as well?
Some of them, yes. Like the big, really popular, more watched stuff, like the slam dunk contest. I think if they did something like that, people would be very interested to see what woman is, dunking a ball out here. So, yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, I think it would grow on people.
It makes you wonder too, because in WNBA games, like the slam dunk hasn't happened but a few times.
Right, I was going to say not often at all. Right.
But in the arena of a competition like that, where they don't have to worry about other players and passing the ball and everything,
right,
that could be entertaining.
Yeah.
The guys always like put up these trick shots where like another player alley-oops to him. I could see something like that.
Right, and women are creative. I'm sure they could come up with some interesting shots. So I think that's something that they should look into. It'd be interesting. I would watch that.
Yeah.
I would definitely watch.
It could be interesting. I'd watch. Unfortunately, like WNBA is always on like ESPN2 or something like that, so it doesn't get the biggest audience.
Right.
Would you go see a game live?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Got the Mystics up the street.
Yeah. I guess availability and how much the tickets was. I guess it would depend on if I went or not. Now, if I like won a pair of tickets or was gifted a pair of tickets, I absolutely would go. But no.
Okay.
Not necessarily see myself paying a grip to go see a women's basketball game.
They're getting their own arena soon, sharing it with the NBA G League of the Wizards. I can't remember the name of the team right now. So that's kind of cool that they get their own facility. Right now they're in the same facility that the Wizards play, so women don't always draw the same numbers as men. So you think in a smaller facility they'll be able to fill out the seats more, and could be a better atmosphere too with more full seats, more full arena.
Yeah. I think if given enough positive promotion, they could fill the seats. It should be something that it probably will slowly but surely get more attention.
I'm gonna switch it up.
Okay.
Let's go back to Major League Baseball.
Okay.
We always do the booty huff and the came through. Have you been paying attention to Major League Baseball throughout the week to give anyone any of those awards?
Not throughout the week, no. Like the last eye-catching thing was the Manny Machado move. Was probably about the most recent thing that I caught or paid attention to.
I'm going to give a came through to the Orioles.
Okay.
After those two trades, they have their future prospects going.
Yeah, they got a lot of stuff going.
They've also been doing pretty well themselves. In the last 10 games, they're 5-5. They're on a 3-game win streak. And 2 of their last 5 wins were against the Red Sox, who are top of the AL East.
Right.
Since Manny Machado was traded, Jonathan Scope is hitting, what was it, 357 or something like that? So he's doing a lot better on the field. Not to say that Manny was taking away from him, but like they're gelling. Yeah. That first game after he was crap, but like they're gelling together and know that they have this hole with Manny gone. That they're doing decent. Like if they keep this up, then maybe they won't be the worst team in the league at the end of the season.
If they keep it up, right?
If they don't trade away Adam Jones.
Yeah, that, and I guess I don't know. They just I don't know what happens. They don't have longevity for the season. It's like after a while.
I think that's the horrible thing about baseball too. It's 162 games.
And I was about to say that also. It is a lot of games.
If you have a team like the Red Sox, that's your team that's winning. Oh, every game is just exciting.
Right.
But when you have the Orioles, who are at 32 wins, it's just every game you're just like, just get to next season.
Yes.
Get the season over with.
Right.
As for Booty Huff, I'm going to go with the Washington Nationals.
Okay.
And we talked about it earlier, the player that some of his older tweets resurfaced that didn't look too good. So
Did you see the tweets?
I haven't seen the tweets.
Okay.
Just it said what their content was.
Okay.
But in addition to that, Steven Strasburg is injured, possibly out for the season.
Right.
And this is a team that every year they're expected to do so good, and they did look good for a while. But like the last month, they've been in a downward spiral. Probably won't make the playoffs. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say.
Right. Might not be much of a limb. If they're spiraling now,
yeah. Is the Manny Machado trade your Booty Huff or?
No. It wasn't that bad for me to make it my Booty Huff.
Or actually, don't keep it to Major League Baseball. Anything in sports that you're just like.
Yes, I thought it was on the roster. I don't know if we would get into it or the Serena Williams drug test.
Oh, yeah.
I felt like that was some bull crap, but you know.
Did you look into it at all? Did you read up on it?
A little. I didn't go all in depth, but yeah, just you know.
So what happened was, she feels like she was
Targeted. Yeah.
She feels she was tested more than other players.
Which she probably was.
And then it goes back to her race.
Right. She's not in a sport where her race is greatly embraced. Blacks are very prominent in tennis, so
which is just.
And it feels like no matter how many trophies and stuff she wins, they still look at her and her sister is 2 little black girls from Compton.
It's crazy too that you say that tennis hasn't embraced the black players and everything, because going back to the 70s and maybe even before, Arthur Ashe made huge inroads. He has a stadium named after him.
Yes.
Held as one of the greatest players of all time.
Yes.
And yet still in 2018.
Yep. I think too some of his, not to take away from his playing, but because he was it was like an extra wow on it, oh, okay, they aren't usually playing tennis, this guy's pretty good, so it's I think that kind of also put another little light on how good he was.
Do you see tennis as something that would? I don't know. I don't know how to phrase this. I don't think necessarily that they. Okay, well, like I said earlier, Russell Wilson would like to see more African Americans playing the sport of baseball, that they kind of went away from it. Do you think tennis has a way to appeal?
I am actually surprised that more blacks aren't into tennis because it's the running, the hit, it's a really physical thing, and it's not like, it seems like something that I don't think it is widely embraced in schools enough, and kids aren't exposed to it enough to get into it.
Yeah.
Like they should. So.
Like you said, it's running, it's hitting, it's a workout.
Right.
And I think a lot of those sports that are viewed as like bougie or rich people sports,
right,
when you actually get out and play it, like I've gone out and played golf a few times, and oh my God, like the workout that you get doing golf is ridiculous.
Right.
And it can be addicting. It's like, okay, you got this little ball that you got to hit.
Yeah.
Try to make it in this hole a football field away.
Yes.
And not go all these other ways.
Yes.
And the workout that it gave you, like I had aches and muscles I didn't know I had.
Right.
So it's easy to like look at people on TV just hitting a ball in tennis.
I know I can do that. Right.
Hitting a little ball with the club.
And then too, because it's like, how many basketball courts are out here versus how many tennis courts are out here? So.
Yeah.
And golf too. Like there's not a lot of kids that get to go to the golf course and try and play, so they're not really exposed to it a lot.
Which is crazy too, because Baltimore has some really good golf courses, like Clifton Park. It's right there.
Yeah, you would never know.
Yeah, I don't know. There's Clifton Park, then there's that one Northern Parkway.
I'm not sure the name of it. But.
So like there's access. It's just, I think it's a
lack of exposure and opportunity, I guess, to get to do things like that.
And like you said, maybe it's just a lack of having someone to look up to in that sport to want to bring you to it. We're going to wrap it up with the next segment, Just a Bit Outside Radio Show.
There's a rumor going around that Tyler Perry and Oprah are beefing. Well, let me tell you about this. Tyler, okay, told Oprah, bitch, if you don't have my money, we're going to have a problem. Ooh. Oprah said, what is the problem? Ooh. You said if I don't have your money, there was going to be a problem. So Oprah is standing her ground like, bitch, I'm in charge. Yeah, you may have a $250 million studio over there that you film all your shows and movies and stuff on, but I have the empire. That's what Oprah said.
Oh, these are her exact words. Allegedly.
I made this up. But
allegedly.
I made it all up. But there was a rumor that they were beefing. But Tyler confirms that they don't have any issues. So it says it was recently reported on the rumors that was swirling that the twosome were on the outs over constructive criticism of a Perry's show. Well, I got some constructive criticism, and we can be on the outs, Tyler, and I don't give a damn, because I'm going to make a promo out of this anyway and share it to your page. I need the scenes on Have and Have-Nots to be like 5% shorter, each one. I want you to watch an episode of The Young and the Restless, because this is supposed to be a soap opera. No one's dialogue on The Young and the Restless is like this. You don't have to talk about the random plant in the corner for 25 minutes on one damn scene.
They talk about random plants.
It was a blood stain on the floor for 5 episodes. I can't take it. We need to kick this up. I'm sorry. I love the Have and the Have-Nots, and I continue to watch it in this 5th season, but I get so mad when I can go get myself a glass of water and come back and he had just started the next sentence in his first paragraph. I can't stand it.
They just want to get the point across.
It's not but you don't get the point for 4 episodes.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to Just a Bit Outside Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com. It's been a great night. I want to thank Tyra for coming in.
Of course, anytime.
It was supposed to be a women's panel. We were supposed to have a few more guests, so sometimes things happen. But I appreciate you coming in and cutting it up.
It takes a little more than rain to keep me in the house.
Well, there's been a lot of rain.
Yes.
And it's supposed to continue all week.
Not a problem with that either. Good. Maybe softball practice will be canceled. But I don't have to go if it keeps raining.
How many practices do you guys have throughout the week? 2. Okay.
And then games every Sunday.
Adult beverages during practice too?
Oh, during practice? No. Just at the games.
Just at the games.
It is kind of frowned upon when we drink while playing, but
so it's not like the kind of league with the kegs at second base?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Yeah, gotta find those leagues.
A lot of the co-ed leagues are probably like that.
Yeah. Here at Just About Outside, we like to end it off on a feel-good story. And I found this and I thought it was pretty cool. It's topical, and it just shows the inroads that are being made in society. Football, of course, is one of those manly man sports, and whenever we've heard of like players coming out, it's usually after their career's over. Bradley Kim, he's a player for the Air Force Academy, which adds another element of being military. This past week, Kim came out as gay, posted something to his Instagram, and had an article in Outsports. He's a sophomore. I did not think this day would ever come, but I finally reached the point where I am comfortable and confident enough to, with myself, to say that I'm gay. And again, like with the added pressure of military,
yes.
It's kind of surprising to do it on the college level.
Yeah.
And you know, to have the military atmosphere around it, his teammates have been nothing but supportive, tweeting out, love you, bro, good for you, just outstanding support. So I think it's a great thing that out of the college football, like not even NFL, like before these guys get even bigger in the game, that he's comfortable in himself to come out. So to Bradley Kim, like, shout out to you, man.
It is a good thing. I was wondering though, do you think that will have a negative effect on his career moving forward from this?
Considering his Air Force Academy, when he finishes, he might have a commitment to the Air Force, and especially with this current political environment, the person in the White House, I could see there being problems continuing in a military career. As far as football, I don't know how good of a player he is. Air Force has put out some great players lately. I don't think it would hurt his chances in the NFL. You?
Yes.
Yeah. Both NFL and military?
NFL.
Yeah.
As much as we applaud these people for coming out, and you show them love and support, I feel like they're not getting that embrace from the league, like, you know, and they are unfortunately kind of look down on a lot of players that come out. Years ago,
Michael Sam?
Is that his name? I don't really.
He came out right before the draft. Was drafted by the Rams, I think.
No, not him. Him too, but it was a basketball player that I remember coming out, and then he didn't really do too good after that. I think like nobody really wanted to pick him up, and like his basketball career just kind of really like flopped after your 15 minutes of fame about coming out. After that was over, nobody was really messing with him like that. And it's sad to say, but the reality of professional sports, I don't think they really embrace it yet. And they're not gonna like come out and outwardly say, but
I think as far as like ownership goes, they're aware of the eyes on them as far as fans and everything.
Yeah, so it's like they can't outwardly be against it, but.
And I think they're amongst the players. I don't think there's a problem, but it, like, sadly, amongst the fans, there might be.
Yeah. And to a lot of the big wigs, I feel like on their boards and on their commissions and the owners, and a lot of them are older men, and they don't exactly have a open mind to the way of the world now.
But again, Bradley Kim, shout out to you. Congratulations for doing what you did.
Much success.
Tyra, again, thank you for coming in. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Next week, Keisha will be in studio again. And Baltimore, spread love, yo. I hope you did it right, Keisha. I hope I did right by you. Jeez. Spicy.
Spicy.
This flashback from the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
So you're your biggest asset. You have to practice self-care. Every entrepreneur has to practice self-care. You have to release yourself from toxic situations.
Explain to us real quick, what is a toxic situation?
A toxic situation is something that will control your mind,